Well, that almost came out right. We were close. Damn it, we were close to actually having that work out the way that it was supposed to. Do me a favor, people, if you haven't had a chance to hit the thumbs up button, do it. Let's play like we're YouTubers for the day, shall we? Let's hit the button. Let's hit the thumbs up. Let's do everything we can to push the lifeboat a little bit forward, huh? That would be a lovely thing to do. This is a subject that we have visited many times in the past, but it's fun. This is a fun subject. So, but before we get rolling, thoughts and prayers going out to all of the people that need them on the boat. Gotten some heavy emails. There are some people on the boat that are going through some really, really heavy stuff. And if they want to ask for prayers, we'll happily give it to them. I don't want to put anybody on blast, but just in general, just one of these for all parties involved, because there are, at any given point, there's a lot of people on this channel that are going through an awful lot of stuff. This sobriety thing isn't for the meek, right? This is the weak need not apply. It's very easy to get trapped into the life that we all lived for a long time. And it takes a very healthy amount of guts to break out of that lifestyle. It's not something that everyone can do. Statistically speaking, it's something that is going to plague most people until they pass away. One of the exciting things about the lifeboat, one of the reasons that I have such an amazing amount of respect for all parties on this channel is the what it takes to get sober isn't an easy thing. It really isn't. It's a very, very difficult thing, and I have massive respect for anybody that undertakes that journey. This was supposed to be an interview tonight with Brandon. Brandon had something come up with his family. Don't worry, we will get Brandon back on here. I promise you. We do want to hear the second half of his story. The first half, he talked very heavily about what happened to him in younger days. But for those of us that have been on the boat for any length of time, we all remember Brandon now for more than a year and a half. And he's been fighting the good fight the entire time. And it's not easy, man. It really isn't. It's not easy. And we're going to be highlighting more people here coming up in the near future. We're going to be doing some interviews with some people that are highlighting some of the triumphs and some of the struggles. You know what I mean? There's no reason to just highlight the Blue Girl 66. I don't think I saw you before. Welcome to the lifeboat. I'm glad that you're here. We should be highlighting everybody's journey. They're not all fantastic. They're not. They all end up fantastic. If you continue down this road, it always ends in triumph. And to be really honest, some of those, it's a difficult thing. It's something that is it's hard, and everything in life that's worth is hard, and it's something that all of us need to to fight and to struggle with. My question today, if you saw the thumbnail, you probably thought, "Hey, Snotface, good to see you." Hey guys, my husband is leaving for a good portion of a year in a couple of days. I'm glad to have you all for the journey. Well, we're glad that you're going to be here with us while he's gone, Snotface. Anything that we can do to make that more, an easier thing. And huge shout out to your husband and to all people in the military for the sacrifice that they put in every single day. Gail, we're glad you're here. Welcome from Indiana. But to all of our men and women in the service, this one is for you. Hey, squirrel nut zipper, come on. Look who showed up. Late. This is the problem with the really hot weather. Squirrel has gone to this like super diva mode, and the basket is a little too warm, so she lays down on the slate most of the time. She might pop up here for a little bit. Come on. But today, people, Christy, hey, my favorite normie, Christy Caldwell, my favorite normie. So glad that you're here. Good timing too, Christy, because this is a show today that is absolutely huge for people who are in recovery. But make no mistake about it, I don't care if you've ever done drugs. This show is yours. This is a show that virtually everybody in the world needs to hear. A lot of people won't, but for those that do, this is life-changing stuff. It really is. And there's a great expression, and we all know it. It's one of those things that it's new in the lexicon of the world that we live in. Things like ghosting. Think about it. If you grew up in the 80s or the 90s or the early 2000s, and someone said that someone was ghosting someone, this had no meaning. In spite of the film Gaslighting didn't have a whole lot of, could you put a cool tile in Squirrel's basket? I need to do that, Goosebump. That's actually an executive idea. That's absolutely an executive idea. I should put a cool tile in Squirrel's basket. Did you hear that, Kitty? We're gonna cool that basket off. Thank you. It's a great idea, and I could do that to be sure. I could put a very stylish little stone deal in there for Squirrel so that you will feel cool. 6-pack of beer for me today, says New Zealand Chili Head. Well, my brother, we're hoping that you're going to get back on the sobriety kick. You were doing really fantastic, and you stumbled, and I love you. I love you like a brother. The stumble stops now. It has to. And this is I'm not picking on you, but this is a perfect segue into what we're talking about, because this, people, the phenomenon of phoning something in. I am more guilty of this than anybody in the world. Leisure, do me a favor. Send me a message today on Messenger, Leisure. I need to talk to you. Nothing bad. All good. Just want to talk to you. Send me a message on Messenger so I can be reminded and respond to it. I have been famous over the time that I have run this channel. I have gone through bouts. Hasn't been recently, in spite of my health. I'm not phoning it in. But I've gone through periods of time on this channel where I simply show up and I talk. I come here and I want to get through the hour, and it's like, oh man, it's almost 5 o'clock and I got to go do the freaking lifeboat. And when I find myself in those positions, when I find myself starting to have those kind of thoughts, when I'm saying things like, oh, I got to do the lifeboat, then I'm in a bad way. And I'm in a bad way for a lot of reasons. Number one, I'm probably in withdrawal. In relapse rather. I'm probably sliding in the wrong direction. If this pisses me off, if I'm feeling like putting a couple of hours in a day and talking to people, if it's starting to bother me, then I'm in full-blown relapse. Doesn't mean I'm going to use, but it certainly means I'm not heading in the right direction. And this happens to virtually everybody in sobriety, and it happens to everybody in life. We begin to start phoning it in, things that we really love in life. All of a sudden, instead of giving it our all, we give it enough, right? We give it just enough. That's phoning it in. And we've all done it. There's nobody here that hasn't done it. We've done it to our significant others. How many times have you phoned it in as a wife or a girlfriend? How many times have you phoned it in as a boyfriend or a husband or a fiance, where you know that deep down, in all honesty, the relationship probably needs a little bit more work? And Friday night's coming up, and it would be a golden opportunity to sit down with your significant other and maybe discuss some of the things that are causing both of you a little bit of trouble in the relationship, right? Prime opportunity. However, that's also the night that you pick your teams for fantasy football. Well, if you're phoning it in, you're probably going to go and do the fantasy football thing. If your relationship means enough to you, then you are most assuredly going to stay home and you're going to sit down and talk to your significant other. We do it at work. We could be attacking it. We could be having ideas. We could be moving whatever it is that we do at our place of vocation forward. We look at things and we go, you know what? This is stupid. It makes so much more sense if we do X, Y, and Z. But do we go tell anybody that? No, we don't, because we're phoning it in. Somewhat needed it with everything going on. Has stopped doctor paying brother-in-law a Mike Tyson visit. I'm sorry, man. Tough times. A Mike Tyson visit is probably not a great idea. Those things end up in people going to the house of many doors. You want to do everything within your power. Lady BB, glad that you're here. Don't know that I said hello to you in a while. Glad you're here. What we would really like to do is avoid going to any places of incarceration. And I'm the king. I used to be very fond of paying people visits like that. We talk as it happens. I treat friendship the same. If I do something or don't do something, I want to know. Most needed in partnerships for sure. Well, look, no matter what it is we're doing, no matter what it is we are doing, we are either doing it or we're phoning it in. We are either attacking it or we're phoning it in. So get out your journal, right? Take a pen and put it to a piece of paper, and let's start figuring out what is important in your life. What are the things that really, really are important? You follow me? Get a piece of paper and say, hello, Zen Wen, good to see you. And start writing down the things in your life that you think are important. The things in your life that register enough to write it down. And then start taking a really good, hard look. Thank you, Snotface. We love that you're here. Snotface says, I love this community. Well, we love that you're here. You make it a better place. On a daily basis, you make it a better place. I'm glad that you're here, Snotface. And I'm glad that we're going to be here for you in the next year. It's going to be good to have us. And it's going to be great to have you. Sounds dumb, but the most important thing in my life are my dogs. Sounds crazy. I know. Blue, it doesn't sound crazy to me, oddly enough. It doesn't. Now, the question becomes this. You're not phoning it in, right? I mean, caring for dogs is something that is a full-time job. Caring for this little fuzzball is a full-time job. With her, if I'm not playing with her an hour a day, then she starts to act a little different, and I start seeing some parts of her personality that I would just assume not see. But are you walking them enough? Are you doing everything that is required to make that happen? And if so, fantastic, because nothing that is important to us we should phone in. Really, it's a sin. My husband is on the road, says Christy Caldwell. He's on the road a lot. And what's the most important is showing up to be encouraging. We eat dinner together over FaceTime every night so that we eat together. Christy, I love that, right? That's not phoning it in, right? That is not phoning it in. That is your significant other being on the road, you not having the ability to be with them all the time. Well, you could just go do your thing and say, well, he'll be home in a week. And, or you could say, we're going to do everything within our power to make it so that we're together even when we're not together. That's going the extra mile. That is the exact opposite of phoning it in. Snotface says, I have 10 animals. And 3 of them are exotics. 2 of them are dogs. And another 5 are cats. I love that you are an animal person. I am an animal person. I am of the firm belief that animals do amazing things for us in life. I apologize for being late, says Quiet Girl. Sending lots of love, light, prayers, and hugs. Well, we are not upset at you for being late. It is part of the deal, and we're happy to have you. Glad that you're here. Snotface says 2 foxes and a raccoon. A lot of animals. So if I were to write down my list, on there it is going to say family. It is going to say lifeboat. It is going to say work. It is going to say my mission in life, which is very closely tied to the lifeboat, but not exactly the same thing, right? There are nuances to it that I don't need to share on this channel, but there are things that I'm trying to accomplish, and that is on that list. Squirrel's on the list, right? Squirrel's family, but I will list her separately. And there's a reason that I list her separately, because having a cat means cleaning kitty litter every single day. And I'll tell you something, if 2 days go by and I haven't cleaned that litter, I'm phoning it in. I'm phoning in being the parent of this animal. And I'll be damned if I'm going to phone in anything for the rest of my life. Plain and simple, I'm not going to do it. We're growing very quickly right now, and we're blessed. 5,425, I believe, is where we're at right now. Can I get a hell yeah? Can I get an aye, aye, Captain? 5,425 subscribers. We are only a couple of days into our second year in business, and we're pretty happy about that. We really are. Oh, by the way, I announced on the last video that we are raising money to send to Q, the father of the lifeboat, the man whose teachings we follow here. I am a cheap imitation of the guy that taught me this stuff, and he is in prison serving life. We're doing what we can to try to get people to look at his case, take a look at it. He was a minor when it happened. So we're doing some stuff to see if we can't get, Q released. Somebody during a live feed said, is there any way I could send Q money on his books? We're putting together something right now to send off to him. Do not send it through a super chat, because a large chunk of it will be taken by the big red button. So if you want to go over to the lifeboat, go to the top where it says about, donate. Please be sure that you write down Q, because we get donations there all the time and we put them toward medical assisted treatment. You need to put that it is for Q. If you write a message for Q, it will be included in that. If you want to write a full letter, just do that as well and send it to me at any of the emails, sober@myyahoo.com, any of them. Captain Tommy Scoville, any of them. There's a ton of them. Could you make it Cash App? Yes, no, Conky Donged. If you wanted to do it Cash App, I could do that. Just let me know before you do it. Again, because I want the contribution to go to Q. I don't want it to be misunderstood, but I can do Cash App. So reach out to me. I'll send you all of that information, and you can any way that you want to do it. I have also decided, just for laughs, that whoever makes the largest contribution to Q, I am going to send the original cap from the lifeboat. There have been several captain's hats, but the original has been retired. I am going to send it to whoever donates the most money to Q. So for people who have been on the boat a long time, that would be this number. Except this is not the original. The original is in a special place, but the hat is going to go to whoever donates the most cash. I am also going to be matching some of it, and I will tell you that right now we have already raised over $450, and we didn't do any kind of real major announcements, so I'm pretty impressed with that. And with what I match, he's going to get a beautiful gift, and the letters and all of the people who accompany something with saying something to him is really going to be the score. I think that's just beautiful stuff. So thank you for everybody that is doing that. That means so much to me. I can't tell you. Cats tend to be very particular about cleanliness. I don't blame them. And I agree with you, Anik. And squirrels' kitty litter is a canary in the coal mine. If squirrels' kitty litter is not getting done, I'm doing something wrong. If the bed's not getting made, I'm doing something wrong. There are a whole series of things that are not just part of my schedule. They are the canary in the coal mine. It tells me if I'm phoning in any aspect of my life. Right? If I'm dragging my feet and I'm going, I got to do the damn lifeboat at 5 o'clock, man. It's 4 o'clock. I've only got an hour. If I'm starting to go down that road, then I'm in trouble. And for that very reason, I'm going to need to start going back to basics and finding out exactly why I am screwed up. One of the ways I do that, one of the ways everybody should do that, is you should be going to your journal. You should be reading the things that you wrote. They will tell you. Yeah, you know what? Conky Dong says, I'm sure super chats are appreciated. Everybody would be a lot happier. I have a cat and her name is Shitty Kitty. I had a cat by the same name because she thinks she's a kung fu fighting ninja. I had a cat by the same name. Her name was technically Fiona, but we called her Shitty Kitty, but it was because she ate everything in sight. I could sit here, people. You know what? Anytime this comes up, I could sit here. When people do super chats, yes, they take a huge amount of it. They do. However, it is another one of those situations where this platform doesn't charge me money to come here. So that is how they make their cash. And they make their cash by being in business partnership with me and running ads on the videos that I do. I am happy to pay YouTube their percentage. Is it a lot? It is. But it gives me a platform in a way that I never, ever would have been able to pull off. So I'm happy they get theirs. And they continue to keep pushing the lifeboat. As far as they're pushing it, I'm going to be very happy with that. But I understand completely where you're coming from. I understand, which is why when we do something like raising money for Q, I would like it to be done without them taking anything because it's his money. And honestly, he probably will invest it. He really is very, very responsible. This is not going to be, I mean, he has been saving every penny he made in Unicorn now for close to 30 years. He has a stock portfolio. The man is, if we can get him out of prison, he's going to live a fantastic life. He's been very, very responsible. He has proven that a person can be recovered. He has proven that a person can change and can be a different person. He's never had a write-up. Man's been in prison over 30 years and has never been in trouble. I don't know if anybody that's been to prison can really get an appreciation for just how unbelievable it is. And that's one of those things that just absolutely staggers the mind. That sadly, people like that, can completely change their life and completely become something that is so much a better version of who they are. He is one of the best human beings I've ever met in my life. Sadly, society is going to judge him for a split-second decision made when he was 17, and that's going to stick with him forever. That's just part of the game. So, back to this phoning it in. I want everybody, and I do mean everybody, who is listening to the sound of my voice tonight, you're going to journal before you go to bed. If you're not, be prepared to fail in this journey. If you're not journaling before you go to bed at night, and when you wake up first thing in the morning, you're going to fail. You're not going to be able to track progress. You're not going to be able to do all kinds of things. Does that mean you're going to immediately go out and get high? No, you might spend the rest of your life sober, but you're not going to reach the level of success that you want. It has to happen with journaling. It is how we organize our thoughts. It's how we decide what is important. It is how we take our time and allocate it to the things that are important. All of that happens by putting a pen to a piece of paper. Yeah, that's not fair. We aren't the same person as we were when we were teens. You're absolutely right, Blue. And I'm going to do everything within my power as long as I have breath in my lungs to do what I can to make sure that he stands on the other side of that gate while I'm still here. So that's my mission in life. And I think that this tribute to him is nice. It's I think we'll make it an annual thing until we can get him out of there, and that's the way it is. Yeah, I understand Awakened. I really do. And every time I read one of those where someone is being let out, it hurts me. But it is one of those situations that we're going to have to fight within the system that is in front of us, and we're going to do that. I now have people on the case, which is a good thing. And he is not a very, very, very bad person. Fortunately, Q has really been incredible with everything that he has done. In order for him to get where he has gotten to, he has done virtually everything right. Which I think should carry some weight when the time comes for a judge to look at what he does. Time management. Tell yourself how to use your time or wonder where your time went. That's right. I just can't justify time journaling when I could be reading for myself at the end of the night. Snot face. I love you. You cannot justify taking time reading when you have unresolved issues from the day in your head. I'll tell you what I mean, right? All day long, we have the night shift and we have the day shift on our brain. All day long, the day shift has been doing what it has to do. And things get dumped on the desk of the day shift. Like, I need to grab something for my husband because he's packing to go out of town, right, for our country. And I need to take care of this, and this, and that gets thrown on the desk. And then someone calls you and says, hey, Snotface, I need you to do this. And that gets thrown on the desk. And we get to the end of the day, and what do? We lay down and we read. It helps us go to sleep. But all of the stuff that was on that desk in our brain that we did not resolve, we now hand to the night shift. So we go to bed, and the subconscious mind starts to do what? Starts to deal with all the crap you did during the day. Well, what happens to the person that before they go to bed journals? They take everything that happened during the day and they sweep the desk off completely. They get all of that crap and they dump it. They do an info dump. Doesn't even have to make sense. Lisa's such a shrew. I need to go to the dump tomorrow. I don't know why I didn't take care of that. I hate Mondays. Mondays are the absolute worst. It doesn't need to make any sense. Just get out of your head what's in your head before you go to sleep. Now your subconscious comes on, punches the time card, and they start working not on what happened during the day, but on serious issues that we have in our life, right? This is why people who journal at night and in the morning are happier people. I know this book. I'm currently reading a book called Normal Sucks. It's an easy read, only a couple of 100 pages, but it makes me feel more comfortable about not conforming to a mentally ill society and its expectations. Well, good for you, and it's a great book. ZW. Zen gifted a membership to someone on the lifeboat. Thank you so much, Zen. I love you, and I love everything that you do for the boat. It is appreciated. It really is. And I mean that. So now the night shift comes on and starts actually working on things from our past, heavy duty stuff, maybe something that happened to you when you're 7 that your subconscious should have been working out for the last 25 years of your life. The reason it doesn't is because it never gets past what happened that day. Well, let's start taking care of that. Let's put it down on a piece of paper. Now what happens? Well, all night your brain does the dreaming thing and the subconscious is working through everything. Now it's time for them to punch out. They're done, right? So you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? You grab that journal and you dump whatever's in your head. May not even make sense, right? We've used this joke before, but the old mumbo dog face to the banana patch. Write down whatever the hell comes out of your head. Just write it down. Now your conscious mind starts the day with none of that baggage from last night. You see, the night shift never actually takes care of everything before you open your eyes. There's always a few unresolved issues, half-finished dreams, things of that nature. And you're going to carry it into your day. So now you're not having a great day because in the back of your mind where you don't even realize it's there, you're a little angry about a dream you didn't finish or a dream you didn't have. You're still going through something from your subconscious from the night before, which makes you have a bad day. So what do? That day's so bad now the stuff stacked on your desk is this high, but you don't deal with it. You go home and you read a book. You understand? We have to dump what's in our brain before we go to bed and before we start our day. It has to happen. Trust me, people. If you don't trust me on anything else, trust me on this one. There is no one successful on the planet that doesn't journal. What should that tell you? Seriously, every single time they interview somebody who is successful, the Elon Musks of the world, right? The captains of industry, the fantastic entertainers and musicians and anybody else, when they interview people, what do they say? Do you journal? Of course I journal. Of course I do. I have to keep track of my thoughts. I have to organize what happened during the day. I have to plan on what I'm going to do in the day when I first wake up. As you start writing down the list of what you intend to attack during the day, why do you think people that journal are more successful? Well, hell, they plan their success. It's a dream until you write it down. It's a pipe dream. If you're not journaling before you go to bed and when you get up in the morning, and I love you, whether you say, Tommy's an idiot, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. I still love you. I promise you I do. You don't have to listen to me. You don't. But I'm telling you right now, if you're not journaling, you aren't going to get where you want to get. You're not. Journaling is the organization of the mind. It's the organization of your life. And in my humble opinion, you're phoning in life. If you're not writing every single day about what your plans are, how far you've gotten towards your plans need to change. Look, I'll be really honest. You move to a new place and all of a sudden you go, holy hell, there's 15 things I need to worry about that I didn't have to worry about where I just moved from. And that's going to change every plan you got. That's going to change how you do what you do moving forward. Right? So take the time to do all of the things necessary to be successful. Well, Tommy, that's an easy thing to say, but how do I know what will make me successful? Well, you don't. So if I were you, I would follow the game plan of people who are successful. Christy, my favorite normie, I think we'll just call her that. My favorite normie says, journaling helps me manifest my life. And it's helped me write songs and understand where I came from and where I am. It's beautiful to see the growth. And that's an awesome point. By the way, when she says it helps me write songs, she is an accomplished songwriter, a successful songwriter. And she's not dabbling. She is published. She's the real deal. But the important part of this statement says, it's beautiful to see the growth. As I was telling people, look, this is just right now. See this? This is when I told Q that when I got out of prison, I wanted to do this. I didn't know I was going to do it online, but that I wanted to take what I had learned from him and I wanted to unleash it on the world. This is it, right? This is over a decade old now, but I can go back and grab it and I can go read through this stuff and, scribbles out and disgusting, and at the time they weren't letting us go to store. So I was literally going to the cop every day and saying, I'm writing out a complaint. I need 5 sheets of paper. And then my cellmate would wait and the next guy would come on and we'd do it again. Hey, I need 5 sheets of paper. And that's what I was journaling on and working with Q. And this right here is still the backbone of everything I do here. But to go back and look, I was talking the other day about this. When I go back to the very beginning of my sobriety and I read the things that I wrote, the growth is absolutely incredible. People like that are the reason for such high recidivism rates. Miss V. You know, one of the reasons for the super high recidivism rate, in my opinion, um, Blue Girl says, I used to journal back when I was a teenager, back when everything and anything was possible. You lose that as life goes on. It's so sad. You know what? You lose that as you beat the hell out of yourself. I'm there right now. I really am. And it took me 50 some odd years to get here. But I'm back right now where I believe anything is possible. Um, it, it was a standard joke here on the lifeboat that I would eat this stuff when we got to 100,000 subscribers, right? I would eat it every day for a couple of weeks because we weren't going to hit 100,000 subscribers. What we talk about here is heavy. Heavy doesn't sell. And what we do here is long form. Long form heavy really doesn't sell until it does. And our long form live is the one of the fastest growing segments on YouTube. It is becoming very popular to do live stuff and to do it for an hour or more. So we're somewhat ahead of the curve. And now I wholeheartedly believe a day is coming where I'm going to have to eat this garbage for 14 days. I didn't think that it was ever going to be possible for the Lifeboat to hit 100,000 subscribers. It is possible that the Lifeboat is going to hit 100,000 subscribers. The fact that I thought it wasn't was a form of phoning it in. You know how I'm going to hit 100,000 subscribers on the Lifeboat? I'm going to aim for 650,000 subscribers on the Lifeboat. I'm going to keep working like my life depends on me busting out 500,000 subscribers in the next 5 years. And if I come up really short and we end up with 150,000, well, that will be just fine. Right? If I come up really short and we end up with 60,000, that will be just fine. Because every single person that comes here is coming here to try to better themselves. Every person who comes here with the desire to be a better version of themselves. That is not phoning it in. You know, there was a comment earlier from somebody that said, we're here. Obviously, we're not phoning it in. And there's really something to that. I mean, it's funny, but it's not. The fact that you're here means that you don't want to phone in your sobriety, right? So the question becomes, is there a part of your life that you're phoning something in? I don't know. I don't think so. Well, you won't know if you're not writing it down. Maybe do a fundraising stream, and if we could reach X amount, then you'd scoop that delectable Vegemite into your mouth with a smile on your face. I'll tell you right now, if we were to hit $1,000 by the morning on Q's fundraiser, I would do that. I said that because I know it's a pretty safe number. But when I hit 100,000, you will get to see me do that. And if by some chance we do hit that number with Q, I assure you I will do it. Q means that much to me. Buddha Davis says, boom, ye boat. Let's go and congrats. Tommy, you deserve it, my brother. Hope you're hungry. Yum, Vegemite. Yeah, you know what? Vegemite is so foul, but I am going to do it. Christy Caldwell says, Mitch, yes, you can take the thoughts that are garbled and organize them and give them depth and life. You'll thank yourself. And that is exactly what happens when you begin to journal. You take these garbled and jumbled thoughts and you organize them in such a way that really does give depth to your life. That's just a hell of a comment. This is why you need a normie, right? You need a normie on staff because they have a very unique perspective often. And that just, you really worded that beautifully. Alice and Stacy, you're right. The Lifeboat will absolutely hit all of our goals. And I say ours because this is our boat. KD says, I wish I had a rich friend I could call up and make that happen right now. I hate watermelon, says Phases of the Moon V. We're going to have to keep that in mind. Boltneck, good to see you. I am glad that you are here. We are blessed to have Boltneck on board. Very, very cool individual. I'm getting to know Boltneck, and we're blessed. I'll tell you something, people, and this is no lie. We've had a couple of opportunities come down the pike for the boat recently, and these opportunities are from individuals who have asked very specifically to have me come on their channel and do something similar to what I have been doing with Aaron. And couple of reasons I haven't done that. Number one, Aaron, I will be his go-to guy forever. Can't stay long, preparing for a trip tomorrow. Love you all. Proud of you, Tommy. Stay strong, everyone. Thank you, Johnny. I didn't even know you were traveling. Shoot me a text later and let me know where you're going. All right. Thoughts and prayers going out here. This is for your travel, Johnny. I love you, my brother. When I was younger, my mom entered me into a watermelon eating contest. I won, but now I will never eat watermelon again. That is funny. You know what? You saw me do it with milk, and I'll still do milk. People, I got one for you right now. If you have not seen the Stroming video, shame on you. If you have not watched the milk video, shame on you. Today, when you guys leave, watch me try to get down that foul fish. It is coming again, and it is coming again soon. I have a general. Oh, I got you. He's going to Ohio. My fiance is visiting for 2 weeks from Thailand. I'll be absent quite a bit. All right, Ian, have fun. Please. That's fantastic. I hope you have a great time. Take care, Misha. Yeah, both of those videos are funny, and if you haven't seen them yet, then you're missing some of the funniest parts of the lifeboat. Some stuff that we've put out that I think is just absolutely hysterically funny. If you really want to know the truth, the foul fish one is the best. I also want to highlight some channels. If you've never been over to Miss Dragon's channel, please go over and check it out. She's doing really fantastic work. And if anybody wants to put that link up, that would be fantastic. If one of my mods wants to put up a link to her channel, that would be fantastic. I do not know if I have seen. Okay, well, if I see her, I will put up. There's a couple of other sites where I want to start highlighting people from within the boat. First time I saw Tommy was that video. Didn't like him, but here I am. I love your honesty, James. I appreciate you, man. That's awesome. A watermelon heating contest. I'd be afraid of growing a melon out from behind. Oh, yeah, right. Can that veggie cap get any tighter? Tommy, bro, can that veggie cap get any tighter? I'm not sure which veggie cap we're talking about, but I don't know. I heard the banana and Sprite and surround sound in my car. Oh, that burp had to be fantastic in surround sound. There's Carousel Delirium. I didn't think you were here. Carousel, if we could also get your site up there as well. Carousel has gotten a whole host of new people that have been signing up on her site. That's what's supposed to happen, people. We're supposed to support one another here. So if you've got if you've got a page and what you put up is in line with what we do here, I'm absolutely 100% for doing everything we can. You're unscrewing it the wrong way. He means, oh, I got you. This is not gonna. This is definitely this is on tight. Make no mistake. This is on tight. It's I'm probably gonna have to break this to get inside it. What I mentioned earlier on in the boat, not everybody was here for the donations that are coming in for Q. The largest of those donations is going to get the original cap from Captain Tommy's lifeboat hat, the very original. I wore it for probably 500 or 600 videos. The sound that Vegemite cap is making from you fighting with it, it can't get no tighter, bro. No, it really can't. But I want to make sure no smell comes out. I don't know if you've ever smelled this stuff, but it smells like crushed aspirin. It's just absolutely awful. I am so late, says Zero Susie Q. I will have you know that not 2 minutes ago, Zenwen said, are you sure you're comfortable starting this without Susie Q? And I said, I don't know, man. We kicked it around a bit, but the deciding vote was we were going to move forward. I'm sorry that we started without you, but we waited about 35, 40 minutes. It was the most we could wait. But we're really glad that you're here. I started a YouTube channel. It's about what I am going through with the loss of my daughter. Do you think it's in line with what you're doing here? Lady BB, I absolutely do. And if you want to put up anybody that any kind of outlet for people who are suffering. There are people here on this channel who have lost kids to drugs. I could name 7 or 8 of them right now off the top of my head. I can't imagine how many I don't know by name. So if that's what you're doing in your channel, please put the name of your channel up there, and we'd like to do everything within our power for people to come and check it out. I think that would be fantastic. I would say that's very much in line with what we do. We want to be a support for people that need support of any kind. It's important when you're getting sober to be able to work through issues and all kinds of other things, and that's huge. Forever 43 NER. Does that sound about right? Can I get a blue wrench to look that up and then put up a proper link? That was not me making a bad drinking sound. That was the honestly and truly, that was the bottle. I don't make those kind of sounds. That sounded so bad. Best wrenches anywhere in the in all of YouTube, by the way. Special shout out to all of the moderators here at the Lifeboat. This has been a tough channel to be a moderator on. It really is. Everything we do is live. And there are a lot of people that don't love me, so they have worked very, very hard to keep the Lifeboat a place where people can come and talk about, really deep and personal things. And I love you guys, I really do. Forever 43 says Lady BB, is that her age? And so now she is Forever 43, and NER is her nickname. I got you. So if you guys want to stop by there, give her a follow. Check out the channel. If you're dealing with the same thing, that's huge. Having just knowing that you're going somewhere where you don't have to explain your pain, you can just share it. The secret of the Lifeboat is that you don't have to explain your drug pain. You just have to share it. So I love anything like that pops up. That's a support group. I'm so sorry for your loss, but I think what you're doing with it is heroic. And I think it will become a resource that will bring peace into the lives of people who are suffering with the same thing. And that's priceless. That literally is priceless. Snot face. I love the feeling after my teeth are cleaned. I do too. That is a great feeling. And I don't get it done often enough. It's one of those things that I dread doing until I do it. And then I'm really, really happy that it got done. To be sure. Lady BB says, thank you, everyone. I'm trying not to sleep so much. And 20 hours at a time is not good. That's why I'm here and do the videos. Lady BB, I love what you're doing. I love that you can be honest with us and tell us that 20 hours in bed a day is unhealthy, and it is. And I'm glad that you shared it with us, because now we know what you're going through. We know what we can pray for you, and we know how we can support you. And I'm going to recommend, more than anything in the world, when you're going through that kind of loss, when you're going through that kind of pain, you get to the point where you need to live as if. Okay. I don't mean fake it till you make it. I hate that expression. We're not faking anything. That's what we did when we were on drugs. We're not going to fake it till we make it, but you're going to live as if. You're going to live as if you have learned to live with this. I'm not going to say getting over it, because you're never going to get over this. No one ever gets over that kind of loss, but we do learn to live with it. And you're going to start to live as if you've already learned to live with it. That doesn't, very often we feel like if we move on even slightly, we've betrayed the person we lost. We owe it to them to grieve every day for the rest of our lives. And the truth of the matter is, that's not what our loved ones would want. What our loved ones would want would be for us to live the best possible life with the most happiness that we could squeeze into it. And I have said this before with people on the boat, but I have lost people close to me that I really truthfully believe that it's one of those situations where just by the fact that you realize there are other people out there that understand, when you begin to live as if you've healed, and I mean get up in the morning, force yourself out of bed, journal, go for a walk, schedule your day down to the minute. so that you are getting up and you're doing something at 5 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, at 8 o'clock. And you may have to do that, forcing yourself to do that for weeks. You may have to force yourself to do that for months. But I think we owe it to people that moved on, especially if we lost them too soon, to live life so full that we're living for both of them, that we're living for the people that we've lost as well. It's so easy to, when you lose somebody that's that dear to you, it's so easy to find yourself in a state of depression where you can't get out of bed. I've been there. I've lost people and I've felt that way. And now I just want to take those people with me, and I want to do incredible things. Jump out of airplanes and maybe run with the bulls, right? The vomit comet. That's on my bucket list, is to go on that airplane that simulates zero gravity. My brother Johnny almost pulled off getting the both of us on that thing last year. I have faith he's going to pull off getting us on it this year. It's in his crosshairs, and if my brother Johnny sets out to do something and make it happen, he's going to do it. That's just who he is. So I know that day is coming, but thank you, Carousel Delirium, for putting that up. And if anybody else, if any of the Blue Wrenches want to put that up, I absolutely love the fact that Newark 767, we are glad that you are here. Welcome to the Lifeboat. He says, everyone is so welcoming here. Well, we try. We are all in the same boat after all, right? It's hard to hear that you aren't doing the right thing by holding on and grieving every day. I felt like I was the only one remembering my husband, and maybe I am the only one, but he'd want me to be happy. Valerie, you're 100% right. And it is hard to hear that you're not doing the right thing by holding on. There's nothing wrong with holding on, right? There's nothing wrong with holding on. But it is a very, very different thing between holding on to the point that it is keeping you from moving forward. At the Lifeboat. This is Lady BB, and this is my channel, not the Lady BB. There you go. Forever 43. See that? That's the channel, people. That is the channel. The best thing that you can do, honestly, and it's hard. It's hard. And there's a part of you that should never let go. There's a part of you that should absolutely carry that person with you everywhere you go, every minute of every day, but it should put a smile on your face. It shouldn't have the opposite effect. I see my dad in things and in places, and there are times where I just laugh my backside off because I know he's laughing. You know what I mean? I find myself, I'm carrying 6 things and I got something balanced on my head and I'm doing something. I just thought, if the old man could see me, right, he's laughing hysterically at what I'm doing at the moment. And it's an important thing to never lose those people. It's also far more important to ensure that they don't keep you from living your life. They wouldn't want that. Yeah, and you shouldn't want that. You should absolutely be able to move forward. John Doe says, listen to more Ted Nugent. Well, there you go. There's some advice. It's funny. I've wanted to make a streaming change in the world somehow. And after meeting Tommy, we chatted and got to know each other, and made me just start the channel. Found Tommy from Aaron's. Well, you know what? I encourage anybody that has a voice and wants to help start a channel. It doesn't have to be good. You know what I mean? It may get there over time, but it's a great outlet for the people who are filming it. And sometimes just knowing. Michelle R. says, phoning it in. Sad to say this is too familiar right now. You know what? The fact that if you know you're phoning it in, Michelle, then the sad is over, right? It is. The sad is over. Take a piece of paper, grab that pen, write down on the piece of paper, what am I phoning in? Make a list. Where am I coming up short? Am I phoning it in with the relationship with my family? Am I phoning in my relationship with God? However you view that, right? My higher power. Am I phoning in what I do for recreation? Yeah, I go down there and I play, but I really want to be there. I'm just sort of showing it up. Then stop going. Find something you're not going to phone in. Find something that you're passionate about. Passion is awesome, man. Passion is awesome. Find things that make you happy and put your time and effort into that. And you're going to be a happier human being. Every time I go fishing, I hear my father say, "Why are you messing with these little fish while I'm catching some and he wasn't catching any?" Quiet Girl says, "At Zen, I'm really struggling holding a conversation." One of the beautiful things, QG, is that uh, when you're around people who understand recovery, when you're around people who understand what it means to be titrating off of something like clonazepam, go ahead and butcher the conversation. No one's gonna judge you for that, right? Um, I'm always happy for no reason. Well, that's great. There are plenty of reasons, right? There's always a reason to be happy. Boltneck, it's been 21 days. Tell you what, that's deep into it. I should net a poor tilapia and grill it. You know what? People think you're weird. I don't, Newark. I think you're fantastic. If you're happy at all times for no reason, that's great. I'm to that point now, but I know that I'm still riding a high that I'm free. With all due respect, and the vast majority of free people take freedom for granted, and they have no reason not to, because it's never going to be taken from them. But I cannot begin to tell you how grateful you should be that you can do whatever you want whenever you want. I didn't go to prison because I was wrongly convicted of something. I went to prison for the things that I did wrong. I was supposed to be there. Okay? That said, losing your freedom, losing the ability to tell the people that you love them, losing the ability to just call someone whenever you want, or to decide that, you know what, today's the day I'm going to go do, well, that just doesn't work in prison, right? But losing my freedom was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it really has given me it's given me a whole new purpose in life. That was the turning point for me. Congratulations, Phil. It will get easier. The more days you rack up, the stronger you get. For real, says Boltneck. And you know what? Spot on. The longer that me too. Once I came home. So you've been down. Okay, well then, yeah, you're probably riding that wave too. If you've been down, freedom will always, even on bad days, when it's storming or it's ugly or it's all of the things that tend to bother people. I remember being in a prison cell and looking out the window when it was raining, thinking I would do anything just to walk out there right now and just let it rain on me. I just wanted to feel it, because they would lock you down and not let you out in the rain. And it got to a point where I really just longed for it. And now if it's raining, you watch people running from their cars to the stores, or from their car to whatever. And I usually just have a very slow gait, letting that water hit me. Hey, Newark, then I know exactly what you're going through, brother. Of course you're happy. Of course you are. You're free. And that high sometimes can last for years. I promise you, on the worst days that I have, I will phone somebody in my five, one in particular, because my brother Johnny will say, at least Jane locked up. And it pretty much takes care of everything else. Freedom is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Chili Phil says, I am feeling much, much better without alcohol. And you know what, Chili Phil? You have just become such a fantastic addition to the lifeboat. I'm so blessed that you found this. You know what I mean? Just from day one, this has just been a channel that you should be on. You really should. So yeah, I'm proud of you, man. Puts things into perspective. Boy, it sure does. I had a friend in prison who used to say that the incarcerated know only one thing, that it is better to be free. And that used to stick with me. Like, it still has. It just sticks with me. When I came out, the sun felt different in a great way. It's such a great, I don't harp on these things very often. And sometimes I will if I know I got a convict in the audience. But it's a bizarre phenomenon, right? Because if you're standing on the left side of a chain link fence And that left side is called incarcerated. And they open that fence and they take your handcuffs off and they let you onto the right side of that fence. It's the same sun, right? It hasn't changed in any way, but it has. The second that hits you, the sun feels different. The wind feels different. Everything is just different. I have friends who are doing a crazy stretch. Well, if you've been in, you definitely met people that have a lot of time that are doing some pretty serious stretches. You know, my mentor and sponsor is doing a couple of lives. James R. Full Metal Jacket. Good quote. QG says Goosebump 801. Getting a laugh. And so many people return still. Sasquatch Hunter, the reason that they return is pretty simple. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense because you think freedom is so fantastic. Why would they do anything to put them back in prison? It's just so stupid. But what it boils right down to, really, the long and the short of it is this. The default setting is failure. So they get out and they enter the world and it's exciting and they go to get a job and they get a job and then one day they show up at work and the woman says to them, you know what, you're 10 minutes late. Yesterday you didn't clean out the cupboard before you left and you do this, this, and this. And that convict goes, man, I don't need to listen to this. I'm not in prison. You ain't my prison guard. I'm free. I'm not putting up with this. Right? And that's how it starts. And it's just the little attitudes. We lose the attitude of gratitude. We lose the love of freedom. And then it goes to this, I don't have to put up with that crap. I'm not doing it, man. I quit. And you know what? I'm going to have a couple of beers. Screw it, man. I've been doing everything right. And our brain is doing everything it can to short circuit us, to get us back to baseline, because it understands baseline. It wants us at that baseline setting. And what is that baseline setting? Misery. It's why people stay in cults. Oh, well, they were controlling us. They were telling us to do, why did you stay? Well, because I didn't know anything else, right? I didn't know anything else. I didn't know what the outside world was. At least I knew, right? The devil that you know. I understood addiction. I didn't understand sobriety. Newark says, my cellmate didn't know how to read. I would read his letters to him. I hope everybody hurts at what he just says. You hear that? He said, my cellmate didn't know how to read, and I would read his letters to him. The number of people in prison who are in there because of a lack of education is incredible. I have done exactly what he just said. I have read to my cellmate because they couldn't read. And I would be willing to bet you that 5 out of 10 inmates or convicts that you talk to will tell you they read to their inmate cellmate. I promise you. ZW, thanks again. Really, I mean that, and I love that we're bringing in some new crew members. It's exciting. It really is. CK, I'm sorry to hear that you had an awful day. Can we get a prayer for that? Oh, I bet you he was super, super grateful too to have you read to him. Well, I've told the story on here before. I was in court once in Colorado, and I watched a judge say to a guy, I want an apology letter from you where you can sit in jail and do the entire contempt of court, which was 6 months. It was a year, but you do 6 months on a 1 year. He was going to let him stay in jail for a year, which would have been 6 months if he didn't write an apology letter. And he says, man, I ain't writing no apology letter. And he went walking out. And I'm sitting on the bus with him. And I just said to him, what the hell is wrong with you? Every one of us would do anything here to get out right now. And all you got to do is write the guy a damn letter and you won't get off of your high horse. And while I'm talking to this guy, I went, oh my God, you can't read or write, can you? And he got really, really defensive. And he said, well, it's a glasses thing, this and that. I said, I'm not judging you, bro. I'm just telling you that I'll write that letter. And I wrote the letter for him. And within about 4 days, there were 6 guys that come into my door going, hey man, would you do that for me? I can't read or write. And I just thought to myself, how tragic is this? I was not able to tag. Okay, so sending this to you so you can read it I'm sending you a big hug and lots of love. And this is for everyone too. Love, BB. Thank you so much. That's so kind. I love it. I really do. I love it. Let's see if we'll pop that up. Thank you so much. And thank you for your generosity. I really appreciate it. And the people who are going to get help will appreciate it as well, in a big way. But how do you think they know how many prison beds to make? Everybody pay attention up here, right? Look at me. Please pay attention to what I'm about to say. How do they know how many prison beds to make? Do you think they just randomly make enough prison cells and the beds are perfect? They have just the right amount? How do they know? How do they know that we're going to need 300,000 beds or California is going to need 290,000? How do they know? Well, they look at illiteracy rates in the 4th grade. They look at the number of people per capita who can't read when they're in the 4th grade, and that will tell them how many prison cells they're going to need to build later in life. If that's not the saddest thing you've ever heard in your life, then I don't know what is. It just says that if we taught these kids to read, maybe we wouldn't need prison cells. A hell of a lot less of them, right? But that's the world that we live in, people. Newark, love this chat room. We like it. We like having you. I hope to see you here again, my friend. And I will say this with the utmost respect. Have a great day, convict. If anybody thinks I'm insulting him, trust me when I tell you I'm not. James R., if I missed a email, I will try and make sure I get to it today. I am a few days behind still because of the power outage and the lack of internet, but I am catching up. Tommy, if it's okay to ask, how long were you in prison? And was I safe? I'm 6'2" and about 225 pounds. I tend to be able to take care of myself, but I went through some stuff. I got stabbed. I got stabbed once. I was in plenty of fights. It's part of the deal, but yes, I was safe. And I was in prison altogether for somewhere between about 11 and 13 years, I think, altogether. Was the installment plan, 3 different prison sentences. All right, people. This brings us to the top of the hour, but have no fear. I'll be back. I promise you, I will be back. I am Captain Tommy Scoville, and this little cutie, this is a cat in a basket. Say goodnight, squirrel. Good night, everybody. We love you. Please leave a message. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on the way out, right? It really does help the lifeboat. And you know what? 80% of you have never hit the subscribe button. If you like what we do here, support it. It helps. I'm Captain Tommy. See you tomorrow. Say goodbye, squirrel.